Um, Hello everyone, and today I'm giving you my review on essentially Star Wars Rebels Season 2, what I thought of the season as a whole, but mostly focusing on the end episode, because that was big. That was like, okay, it's all building up to this, and like for most of the seasons, I thought it was. I took down some notes, thankfully, during it. I thought most of the episodes, in my opinion, were very, very good or thoughtfully, very, very, all of them were very, very well done. I love. There was a fair bit of filler moments. I will say that there was like one solid episode I thought was just complete filler, but filler is only as good as you want it to be with the characters. Like if you are that engrossed with the show, then I believe you could enjoy a filler episode. Like if you're that obsessed with it, like a critic won't. Someone with a critical mind won't, but someone like with a real passion and a love for it, like a difference between a critic and a fan essentially would have that certain view. And I think there's some moments as a Star Wars fan I thought the filler alone was good. Was it warranted as a whole? I don't know for sure, but you know what? I thought it was fine. And for me, it made me appreciate much more of it. And I thought it was really interesting how the season went through this big change as a whole, independent of mood and tone. Mainly because I thought it was just really the moment of it all building up with Ashoka and Kanan and Ezra and the whole crew and the Inquisitors, the seventh sister and the fifth brother. I thought that was very interesting and building all of them up towards the last big ending. I thought it was really interesting. The chemistry and the alliance and that bonding feeling with the crew. Like with Ezra and Kanan and Ashoka, I thought it was all very, very great in my opinion. Um, they still have great chemistry. I love how, for me at least, the connection between Ezra and his trust in the Force and how he connects with the certain beasts. I thought that was very, very well done, especially on Malachor 5, which I thought was a very interesting perspective of him connecting with the beasts. I thought it was really interesting. Um, the episode of Shrouds of Darkness with Ashoka essentially coming to terms with like Vader is her former master Anakin Skywalker, and I thought the connection between that. I thought for me that was actually the most emotional episode, not the finale, but that episode was like the most emotional. Like the feeling of like this person I'm going up against was my master. I feel so devastated. I have to confront them, either if I can break them out of their bond or take them down. I think that's just a really powerful notion to go with. I thought her arc and her discovery, that in my opinion was very powerful, very very futile. Had a great futile feeling of it, which I thought was really really great. And I personally did not skip an episode. I thought it was all really great. In my opinion, I thought there was no filler episode. Okay, I wasn't the worst filler, but I always felt myself as a Star Wars fan really engaged with the characters, and whatever may come with the season was essentially did come. I personally was always there, and I always stood by it. I loved watching as it, the whole all of it as it goes along. In my opinion, and but all that building up towards the finale, and here's the finale. What happens? The battle with Ashoka and Vader, I thought was very, very good. The build up and the conflict, all that building up towards it, that was really, really well done. Bit of the banter of like the shadow, like Anakin was weak. Like Vader stating how Anakin was weak. He was a shadow of his former self. And she's like, I will avenge Anakin. He's just like Vader's just like, that's not the Jedi's way. I know. And I'm like, oh shit, that's actually very powerful. And the way they conflicted that between each other, and she's like, That's not. He's Vader states that's not the Jedi way, and she's just like, well, I'm not a Jedi. And she's like, I'm not a Jedi. And I'm like, this is awesome. I just loved it. The action as a whole, the action as itself, I thought was very great. I thought like it really captured how they should act. Ashoka had this. Ashoka with her special wave and pattern was very much of an even flow. Slash here, the back there, come in forward, very much like a slash deck attack, like how an assassin would. With her two sabers, and I thought it was really interesting how she used a type of attack, like run in and out, slash here and there, like that. And then Vader would have this great, perfect, excellent defensive wall or powerful attacks. I thought they got the motion of their lightsaber skills and their physical combative ways very good, in my opinion. I thought it was really, how they got that, in my opinion, was great. The return of Darth Maul, I thought was excellent. And, yeah, of course, that's a spoiler. And, his... Sorry. When the way he had the action with the Inquisitors and his battle with Kanan, blinding Kanan, I'm like, wow, holy crap, that was something I really didn't expect. And I thought it was really shocking, although I'm just like, wait a minute, Darth Maul was voiced by Sam Witwer, who also voiced Starkiller, and in The Force Unleashed, Starkiller blinds Ram Koda. And I thought that was a great little tidbit there, like how they changed EU things into the new Disney supported material of Star Wars. I thought that was very interesting. I really would want them to change over for that. And as a whole, I thought it was a really smart move for me. Well, not me, but how they did that. And how Darth Maul was teasing and throwing little hits at Kanan, like, I'll take Ezra and he'll become my apprentice. He would learn to become a Sith under me. And how Darth Maul says how he was no more a Sith, how he was done wrong by the Sith. And I thought it was really interesting. It felt like someone who has felt the real negative consequences of the dark side, but getting away with it. They were managed, in my perspective, to actually push it away and say, I've been done wrong by the Sith completely. I understand what they go through, the bad, negative side effects of that. And like, I know we've seen that plenty of times in Star Wars, but to see someone in the end come out of the dark side realm and come out in great peace, like in, how he wasn't, with him being cut in half in a Phantom Menace. But as a whole, I thought that was a really interesting perspective for him and how he blinded and he has the lightsabers. It was really great. The way he moved was excellent, in my opinion. And how he took out basically almost all the Inquisitors, including the main Inquisitors, like the Seventh Sister, being voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar. What a fantastic choice that is. She's excellent in this season as a whole, and I loved her. And I thought, for me, the conclusion of the Seventh Sister and the Fifth Brother was really interesting. The Fifth Brother was much more of a brute. He really used his physical abilities and priming to his funny moves and style and thatness. And the Seventh Sister being voiced by Buffy was really cool, and I thought she was much more clever and cunning, and she knew that he was okay. Like, I know they're Sith and they're pale skin, but she, in my opinion, she was very beautiful. I loved. Don't know why, but I loved the way she looked. She was just beautiful. I loved her. Complimenting a pale, skinny Sith woman. I don't know why. Like that, of course, the action scene itself between between Kanan and Darth Maul, in my opinion, probably is the best battle of the finale, and it really was a real outstanding moment for me. And how Darth Maul actually just blind him, I thought was really interesting in my opinion. And yeah, that's and Ezra, and in the end, where we see Kanan having like the oh shit, it's contact. With Kanan having like the blindfold on of him, with that slow zoom on him, I thought was a really weird like close up on him. It was very powerful, and like the very like one of the last ending shots in it was very much, um, you know, Ezra using the Force, the tapping into the Force, to opening the Sith holocron was really interesting because near like dark side Jedi or Sith can do that. Only Sith can do that, not Jedi. And to see that he could tap into that was really interesting. I'm like, oh, is that opening a new door for season 3? What's going on there? And where this all takes place, the finale itself, is in this temple, and how Kanan and Ezra take out the holocron. And Ahsoka's saying, "You guys go. I'll take on Vader." She's like, "Oh, piss." Sorry about that. I know it's wrong. And how she's like, no. She's like, "I won't abandon Anakin Skywalker." She's like, she says, "I won't abandon Anakin Skywalker again. I won't do that. I won't abandon you again." And Vader's just like, "All right, you with that then." And I don't know for sure if she does completely die or not. That's just my theory. And like and they escape. The temple's about to collapse, and you see this big moment like that, and we know that Vader does survive that, but I don't know if she does or not. It's very, very hard to describe, in my opinion. It's like, if that was her death, then I think it is more powerful than to have her not. I don't know how to describe it, but if this is the end of Ahsoka, then I'm not happy with it. I wouldn't say I'm not happy with it, but it's very weird to describe. But for me, at least, it feels. I wouldn't say it's good, but it feels like it's an appropriate ending for it. Like, we get to see her conclusion, and it really ends on this really weird, dark, but yet melancholy note and mood for it, which I thought was interesting. And like the ending of this, for me, felt a lot like the opposite of Revenge of the Sith, where in Revenge of the Sith, the villains win, but there's still that little glimmer of hope. But this one is like, the heroes in the ending of this, the heroes do win, but there's a glimmer of what is the ultimate fate of Ahsoka. Did she die? Did she not? And I think the way they ended that very open-endedly, there's a term for it, very ambiguously. That's the term. Ambiguously. I thought it was a bit too ambiguous, in my opinion. It's like, did she or did she not? Like, this is a fan favorite character, and if this is the ending of her character, then I think we need it. Then I think we do need a bit more resolution for that. If this is the end, then I will say, in my opinion, she went out with a quote-unquote big bang. I thought she ended. If this is the end of her, then I think it. Then I think it's okay. I think it was well done. But it's like, if they bring her back, then I can see why they would do that. And in the end, I think that's just my opinion of season 2 as a whole. Mainly on the last episode itself, I thought it was very good. I thought it was quite powerful, the way they ended it up as a whole. I cannot wait for what season 3 does, in my opinion, until then, everyone. Yeah, Star Wars Rebels season 2 gives 2 big thumbs up for me, everyone. I really do hope you enjoyed my review of this as a whole. Until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the future for more videos as always. Till then, thank you very much. And may the force be with you.